Today, we'll show you how to install your new JL Audio Pro XP SlamPak. We will install the RZR Pro XP SlamPak on a 2-door RZR side-by-side with Ride Command. However, the process is similar on 2- and 4-door side-by-sides with or without Ride Command. Some steps should be completed by 2 people during this process. Please consult a professional installer if you are not comfortable with any steps of this process. To complete the install, you will need the following tools: T20, T25, T27, T30, and T40 hex bit wrenches, a 2mm Allen driver, a 7mm nut driver, a 1 3/8 inch hole saw, and 3/4 inch, 5/8 inch, 10mm, and 13mm sockets. First, ensure the vehicle is off. Next, remove the front driver's side seat by squeezing the lever under the seat. Repeat this process for each seat. Next, using a T40 hex bit wrench, remove the 11 bolts securing the passenger side fender. Next, use a T40 hex bit wrench to remove the bolts securing the passenger side speaker grille. Then, remove the 3 pins holding the fender in place. Then use the 2 quick-release levers to slide out the grab bar. Finally, remove the passenger side fender. Using a T25 hex bit wrench, remove the 2 screws on the back of the pod. Then remove the 4 T25 screws on the front of the pod. Remove the speaker pod. Repeat this process on the driver's side of the vehicle. Now, disconnect the tweeters from the wiring. Then remove them from their enclosure. Next, remove the driver's side fender and foot sill. You may need to remove these clips to detach the foot sill. Now, we will detach the hood cowl. Begin by removing the 2 bolts using a T40 hex bit wrench. Then, simply lift off the hood cowl. Next, we will remove the rear firewall panel. To begin, quarter turn the quick release pins. Then, slide the firewall out from behind the seat belts. Next, we will remove the glove box. This will be the mounting position for your subwoofer. Begin by opening the lid. Remove the 4 T25 bolts. Remove any paneling around the glove box. Then, remove the additional T40 hex bit screws. Now, remove the center dash tray. Remove the grommet and USB cable from the center dash tray. Remove any additional trim pieces from the dash. Then, remove the T40 screws securing the dash to the frame. Finally, remove the dash. Remove the glove box. If your vehicle does not have Ride Command, you will need to remove the blank panel in the center of the dash. Now, we will begin running the wiring harness throughout the vehicle. Starting on the passenger side, begin by placing the yellow labeled wires in their correct positions. We will make these connections to their pods as we set them in place. After you have fed your cable through the dash, place the cable under the driver's side footsill. Using a 1 3/8 inch hole saw, drill a hole at least 1 inch from the right drain hole under the footsill. Then place the included 1 3/8 inch grommet in the hole. Now feed the battery wiring through the grommet. We will attach these to the battery later in the video. If you have a 2-seater, wrap the connector for the rear sub with the included foam tape. Continue routing the cable behind the seat belts, avoiding the sway bar and hot hoses. To allow more room for the speaker connectors, loosen the ROPS rear bolts using a 3/4 inch socket. Press the bolt back through the hole. If needed, you can remove the seat belt using a 5/8" socket to be able to pass the cable under the plastic. Finally, feed the rest of the cable through the opening. Resecure the bolts and screws. We are now ready to begin installing your JL Audio Pro XP SlamPak. Start by feeding the cable for the driver's side tweeter through the mounting location. Properly orient and insert the tweeter into the mounting cup. Note, the indicator for the tweeter should match the groove in the mounting location. Now, connect the crossover cable for your tweeter. Then, wrap a piece of the included foam tape around each of the connections. Then, make the connection to the wiring harness. Follow these steps to install the passenger side tweeter. Now, we'll install your front speaker pods. We will begin on the passenger side. We recommend installing the set screws into the bracket before installation. Ensure the Allen side is facing the front of the bracket. Then set the pod into the correct fitting. Use the included T27 bolts to secure the pod into the frame. Pull the dash back to set the bracket over the pod. Use a T25 bolt to secure the bracket. Then, loosen the set screws using a 2mm Allen driver. Then install the speaker surround trim. Secure the trim with the included acorn nuts with a 7mm nut driver onto the set screws. We will install the grill when reinstalling the fender. Then, connect the speaker to the wiring harness. Wrap this connection with foam tape. Repeat these steps on the driver's side. Next, we will install the subwoofer. First, attach the J-nuts to the front firewall. With the help of another person, set the subwoofer into the space. Ensure the connector cable is above the sub to be able to make the connection. Then, set the subwoofer enclosure bracket onto the ROPS bar. This hardware will be located in the subwoofer box. Tighten the bracket into place with two T30 bolts. Then, tighten the two T25 bolts into the installed J-nuts. Then, make the connection to the wiring harness. Now, we will install the rear speaker pods. We will start on the passenger side. Begin by removing the speaker from the enclosure using a T20 hex bit wrench. Now, remove the two T40 screws from the back of the vehicle. Install the included bracket with the same screws. Additional screws are included for this bracket. Connect the mount enclosure to the wiring harness. Wrap the connection and any other connection with a piece of foam tape. Then place the enclosure on the bracket. Now install the included custom washer. Then use a T25 screw to secure the enclosure to the bracket. Now connect the speaker to the enclosure. Wrap the connection with a piece of foam tape. Reattach the speaker to the enclosure with 6 T25 screws. Finally, install the speaker grill with 4 T25 screws. Repeat these steps for the driver's side rear speaker. Next, we will install the passenger side amplifier. It will be the mono amp. Place the thicker foam tape on the frame of the vehicle. Be sure to use the correct thickness foam depending on your model. Turbo R and Pro R models require thinner foam as the frame is larger. Use the hooked end of the amplifier to set it on the side of the vehicle in the same location as the wiring harness. Use a T27 hex bit wrench to attach the amplifier with a cross washer and bolt to the frame of the vehicle. Then make the correct connections to the main harness. Wrap these connections with foam tape. Repeat this process for the driver's side amp. In vehicles with Ride Command, you will need to connect the current system to your SlamPak. Using the included Ride Command adapter cable, connect the larger signal wire to the adapter. Then connect the subwire. Now remove the bus bar connection cover. Insert the adapter's bus bar connector. Then install the other bus bar connector from the wiring harness. Finally, install the RGB controller cable to the wiring harness. If installing a JL Audio Pro XP SlamPak with the MM55 source unit, locate the dash kit and radio assembly. This will be mounted in the Ride Command factory location. Make the necessary connections to the wiring harness. Then screw in the MM55 source unit into the dash with 4 T25 bolts. Feed the dash kit wiring under the unit. Then clip it into place. Connect the dash kit to the wiring harness. Now we will set up your speakers for your vehicle. From the MM55 main screen, press and hold the settings button. Press the volume button to select vehicle selection, followed by Polaris, Pro XP, and finally 2-seat. Now confirm the profile. Now tighten the wiring harness to your vehicle with the included zip ties. Leave some slack for any adjustments you may need to make. Now we will connect the included Blue C fuse and fuse holder to your vehicle's battery. Begin by removing the positive side of the battery connection with a 10mm socket. Then disconnect the negative side of the battery. Assemble the fuse holder with the Blue C fuse followed by a washer. Then connect the fuse to the harness. Set the lock washer and nut onto the fuse holder. Tighten the nut with a 13mm socket. Cover the fuse holder with the attached cover. Connect the fuse holder and leads to the battery. Connect the negative side to the battery and tighten. Next, test your audio system to make sure all speaker locations are functioning. This is an important step that needs to be performed prior to reassembling the vehicle. Now reinstall the upper rear firewall. Then reinstall your seats. Then replace the dash. Install the center dash box. Reinstall the driver's side fender and footsill. Then reinstall the passenger side fender. Now install the front pod speaker grills with 4 T40 hex bit screws on either side. Finally, reinstall the front center hood cowl. And that's it. Thanks for watching. For more help, please visit support.garmin.com.